Tim McCormick and Jason Williams. I'm Joe.
Upset Creighton in Peoria with outstanding backcourt play. Tonight the rematch is in Omaha. The nation's best non-BCS conference is in your home tonight. It's the Valley. Tonight from the QWest Center in Omaha, State Farm Insurance proudly presents our Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week. Another dandy as the Creighton Bluejays try to remain undefeated at home, entertaining the Bradley Braves. Hi everyone, I'm Mitch Holtis, the voice of the Valley, along with Coach Charlie Spoonhour. Now these two teams met just 16 days ago. Bradley was able to upset Creighton. Can Bradley sweep Creighton this year?
Well, if they're going to do it, Mitch, they're going to have to find a way to win a road game. It's been 13 road games since they've won, and that's an issue for them.
The last time when Bradley was able to beat Creighton, they got an exceptional game from guard Daniel Ruffin.
I'm not sure exceptional covers it. 13 assists and 1 turnover. That is phenomenal. And that means somebody's going to have to control him to the point that he's just not penetrating your defense all the time.
Now on the other side, Johnny Mathis this year for Creighton has been explosive at times.
The only bad games he's had have ended up in Creighton losses, and one of them was against Bradley. Tonight he needs to score the ball, but he also needs to be someone they can rely on to handle against pressure. Creighton
will be out without its All-American Nate Funk, who is out for the season with a shoulder injury. However, they've got Anthony Tolliver, highly improved inside, is one of the best frontline players now in the Valley.
Week is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Budweiser, bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser, this is beer. By Conagra Foods, maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. By Pepsi-Cola, the official soft drink of the Missouri Valley Conference. And by Aeropostale, providing scholarships through sponsorship with athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices.
Back at the beautiful QWest Center on the banks of the Missouri River in Omaha, Nebraska. It's become the thing to do to go to Creighton basketball, expecting a crowd tonight of over 14,000 as the Blue Jays host the Bradley Braves. Let's check our starting lineups. A presentation of Bud Light. Great taste for your great times, Bud Light. Now, if you followed the Bradley Braves, you notice there's someone missing here, and that is Marcellus Somerville, because one of the great players, an NBA prospect. There's several scouts here watching tonight. Jim Les has changed things up in his starting lineup. This is the way they started the last game. For the Blue Jays, we mentioned Tolliver improved inside. Watts will have big games at times. He's a scrapper, and they rely on those three guards to lead the way for this Blue Jay team. Here's a look at Jim Les, one of the great players in Valley history, on one of the great teams in Valley history with Hersey Hawkins and the Bradley Braves in the late 80s. In his 4th year at Bradley. And on the other side, one of the great coaches in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference. The Valley's going to celebrate its 100th birthday next year. This young man, Dana Altman, in his 12th year, 3rd in Valley history in wins. Only the great Henry Iba and great Eddie Hickey have more wins than Dana Altman in Valley history than Dana Altman. And now let's check in with Charlie Spoonhour, his National City keys to the game, brought to you by National City, Charlie, where they want to make banking simple for lives that aren't.
For Bradley tonight, you're probably going to try to start from the basket and work your way out rather than begin shooting threes. And handling pressure is very important. That's why having J.J. Twy on the floor may not be such a bad thought.
Let's take a look at the series history brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius is unbeatable radio. All radio is not created equal.
And if you're Creighton, rebounding is going to be an issue. Great athletes that Bradley has, so you're going to have to get on the boards and value possessions. You don't want empty possessions, particularly early in the game. You want to get some shots on goal.
Bradley's 37 and 32 all time. Creighton's won the last 7 in Omaha. Bradley has not swept Creighton since the 97-98 season, but they could do that tonight since they won 16 days ago. And Dana Altman is concerned about Jim Les's team because, quite honestly, Bradley gives some matchup problems to the Creighton lineup.
There's no question, if this becomes strictly an athletic contest, who can run the fastest and jump the highest, I think Bradley wins that. But I think that's true in a lot of Creighton's games, and I think that they are smart enough to play within themselves. I think that's how come Dana's teams always win games.
This Bradley different lineup. Jim Last trying to shake things up. You got a potential All-American in Marcellus Somerville, who now comes in off the bench. But Jim Last, we had Bradley earlier against Wichita State, and Sellis was settling for three. He was 3 for 20 from the field, a lot of those threes. What about Bradley going inside out in this game?
Well, that's exactly what I thought they did. I thought they settled. Wasn't that they did not play hard, because they certainly did. Their effort was great, but too many shots taken from out. I think when Marcellus starts closer to the goal and then works his way out to the three, I think he's going to have better evenings.
And look at Somerville averaging right on 16 points a ball game. Here tonight at the QWest Center, the opening possession belongs to Creighton. Game on in the Valley. Again, the nation's best non-BCS basketball conference at work tonight.
And you notice Twy draws a hard assignment on Mathis right here.
Little two-man game. Tolliver. O'Brien now helps on him, and Tolliver still decides to shoot. O'Brien with the rebound.
Doetzler gets the job with Ruffin trying to contain him, and that's going to be an issue tonight also.
Mathis jumps the passing lane. Bradley will keep the basketball.
I'd like to have a nickel for every time I've watched him run through the passing lane the last couple of years. I could have a good bank account.
Well, he can go crazy on you. Sometimes Creighton, when they get it going, their defense will create offense.
Creighton, I think, anytime Creighton scores and can set their press, they do things that just mess with your brain, and you lose your rhythm. And I think that's part of the issue tonight.
Zach Andrews, an outstanding junior college transfer. Ruffin for three. It's an air ball.
And we didn't see many threes made the last time we had Bradley.
Watts to the basket. Creighton keeps it. Tolliver hustles.
Good hustle by both teams there.
We've talked about improved players in this league. We bragged up Paul Miller of Wichita State, but Tolliver also vastly improved. Watts for three. Chases his miss and gets it put right back in his face by O'Brien. And already we see the size of Bradley affecting Creighton inside.
I think that's exactly right. If the shot's not blocked, it changes it. And in Nick Porter's case, he does a great job of rebounding the basketball after the block. But he just flips it up there rather than taking it up strong, and that's really what he needs to do.
Tolliver called for the foul, and Creighton wastes no time. They get Jeffrey Day in the game. Dana Altman had told me last night he's got a calf injury. There was some doubt if he was going to play at all tonight, but he gets in less than 2 minutes gone in the ball game, and he's already off the bench.
And there's a chance for a basket against Creighton's press. Usually Creighton does such a good job of their press that they don't give up anything.
Mathis in trouble. Shoots over the defensive Bennett, and a rebound to Zach Andrews of Bradley. Jim Last has to love his defense here early.
His defense has been really, really good the last 4 or 5 ball games against field goal percentage, and it's holding up tonight.
Neither team has scored. We've played almost 2.5 minutes. Watts just scrambling inside defensively against the 7-footer O'Brien. Porter, Jays are on the board.
Transition basket. Anytime you can get a so-called easy basket, you've got to be happy in this game.
O'Brien works against Day inside. You see the battle going on in the paint. That's the second time Watts is clawing away in there. Mathis. Stop and go. Doetzler resets.
We've already seen that this game's going to have a little contact.
Jeffrey Day with some contact, Spoon. That's his first foul away from the ball. Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have our Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital halftime report, where our love for kids just keeps on growing. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Spoon will be talking to both coaches at halftime. Jim Last has to like the way, though, his team is defending to start the game.
Defense is good, and they've had the ball, or they're trying to get the ball in the area we talked about. They're trying to get the ball inside.
Day and Watts have been battling in there. Jimmy Moats is in there now for Creighton. O'Brien against the double team. Andrews scores.
Pretty good looking shot by Andrews there.
Doetzler, not good to go in there against O'Brien. O'Brien led the Valley in block shots last year. Here's a foul. Bennett's fouling.
Well, you can excuse Doetzler. He's just a freshman.
Well, he was the Nebraska Player of the Year, Doetzler, as we take a look. The Bradley foul on Tony Bennett. Doetzler played at a high level at Bellevue West, two-time Nebraska Player of the Year, but I don't think he played against many 7-footers.
Who can jump? That's a dirty trick, a guy that can play.
NBA scouts here watching O'Brien tonight. There's a three from Mathis.
And that's what you don't want to see happen. Ooh.
Or that.
Or that. You don't want to see Mathis get a shot in transition, and then when you make a substitution, you hope that the people that come in the game will keep the same frame of mind as the guys that started. Excuse me, Mitch, but a lot of subs by both coaches already.
Interesting, Mathis, that one was off the heel of his hand. An ill-advised shot. Interesting, when Creighton's two big guys picked up their first foul, they immediately came out of the game. Bradley scores. Good no-look pass by Twy. Andrews gets the bucket, but Twy with the outstanding assist. Moats try to get in today, and Andrews pokes it out of it. 5-4 Creighton, the under-16 timeout. Not a lot of scoring, but as is the custom in the Valley, a lot of defense. Creighton with a 1-point lead here early in Omaha. Leading Bradley 5-4 here early in Omaha. Time to announce our Prairie Farms Conference Scholar Athlete from the Valley. It's Creighton's Anthony Tolliver, junior from Springfield, Missouri. Played on those awesome Kickapoo teams down there. He's made great strides. Creighton with a great academic reputation. A 3.5 in business for Anthony. Academics important to the Valley. Let's salute Anthony Tolliver, nice Prairie Farms Missouri Valley Conference Scholar Athlete. We need to throw up some prayers here for Dave Snell. 794 straight broadcasts before the game, Charlie. He passed out before the game. He's not been feeling well. They have taken him to a nearby hospital. Dave Snell, 794 straight games. Tonight, Roger Fagley taking his place on the left, the ex-Bradley player, and Joel Stoll, the ex-Bradley coach, doing the color. But we need to pray for Dave Snell in a nearby Omaha hospital, taken there before the game.
And hopefully it's just, as he said, something that he ate that didn't agree with him.
We hope so. Dave Snell, one of the great people of the Valley and in this country, and really one of the great play-by-play announcers in the country.
Somerville's posting right now, Mitch, which is a pretty good idea, I think. Now he's out.
Since Somerville didn't start, 7 to shoot. Pierce Hibma on Ruffin. He blows by Hibma and scores.
Keeping Ruffin in front of you is the big issue for the guards from Creighton.
Bradley has its first lead at 6-5, or second lead, I should say. 6-5 lead for Bradley, 14-33. Day against Andrews and banks it in.
Good defensive pressure that time. A good job by Creighton to get a good look and not to crack under the pressure.
A 3 attempt by Bennett, strong. Somerville walks.
And if I'm Coach Les, I think I'm happy about that. Sometimes an issue like that, he's down with the basket, he's trying to make a play. It's just like a postman getting an illegal screen called. At least you know he's trying to get somebody open.
Nate Funk, one of the better players in this conference over the last several years, maybe the best in some instances, out for the season, Charlie, with a shoulder injury. He had shoulder surgery with Dr. Frank Andrews in Birmingham, Alabama, and then shortly after that, Dr. Andrews had a heart attack. Hibma inside. Bradley somehow gets it out of the abyss.
Porter again was in there to rebound, but let the big guys intimidate him just a little bit.
O'Brien. He starts making that shot, the league's in trouble. And rough and walk.
Turnovers are a huge issue right now for Bradley. But you've got to like the way they're playing defensively.
Creighton can force him. Bradley, a little press here on Creighton. Creighton forced 31 Nebraska turnovers when they beat the Cornhuskers for the 7th straight time in the regular season. Nice feed. Tolliver can't finish. She'll get free throws. Porter with the feed.
Free throws will probably be an issue tonight also. If people will keep taking the ball up strong for Creighton, they'll get some fouls called because Bradley's got 3 or 4 people that are going to try to block the thing.
Tolliver, 71% at the line. Well, he had an incredible game against Xavier here, which is Dana Altman thinks is one of his better wins. He had 26 points and 12 boards. Even knocked in a couple threes. But I asked Dana Altman why this kid has improved, and he said it's hard work. In the offseason, this kid decided, I'm going to become one of the better players in this league and worked his tail off.
Anybody that's bright, will work hard, has got a chance to be a really good player.
You already saw he's our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Dominic Bishop in now for Creighton to run the point of that press. 9-6 Creighton. We played almost 7 minutes.
Close to an illegal screen right there.
Guard help. Held ball. Bradley's arrow. Charlie O'Brien's getting a lot of attention when the ball's going inside.
He's getting a lot of attention. Coach Les has decided that Bradley's going to throw it inside, and Creighton's decided they're going to pack the thing. There's 3 people around him every time he catches the basketball or it's thrown to him.
He's getting guards, forwards, Berkshire Hathaway stockholders, Warren Buffett, everything he can find from Omaha in there. Creighton now looks like they're in a matchup. Well, the shot clock goes off. Watts gets the board anyway.
I didn't comment on that, Mitch, because I wasn't sure.
Tolliver, O'Brien, at least 2 swats, maybe 3. Bradley's getting the defense, they're just not getting the scores.
Quick hands by Bradley. Bradley's got a very athletic bunch out on the floor, and they're committed to defending tonight. They're doing a great job. Both teams are.
3 blocks already for Patrick O'Brien for Jim Less's team.
He had 6 last game, and he's well on the way to that number.
That's 6 blocks in 8 minutes. Watts for 3. The roll.
That's the hometown roll there.
Dane Watts' 16th 3, and now Bishop with a backcourt foul. Creighton's 3 from Watts puts him up 12-6. Bluejays of the last 250, they lead Bradley 12-6, 11:46 left to go in the first half. The Valley brought to you by Aeropostale. Athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices. Only at Aeropostale. For store locations, visit us at aeropostale.com, providing scholarships through sponsorship.
Both coaches have used their bench in this first 9 minutes. 9 players for Creighton, 8 for Bradley.
Bradley only 1 for 5 in their last attempts. Are they getting decent looks, Charlie?
I think the looks are fine. I'm interested to see where they're going to go after this timeout right here.
Looked like they went Somerville.
And they had O'Brien on the post underneath him.
Tolliver's got his second foul.
That's a tough call right there.
Four team fouls. They're going to rule it a shooting foul, and O'Brien goes to the line. He was a load for Creighton 16 days ago. 19 points, 9 boards in that win in Peoria for the Braves.
You have to spend so much time honoring him, Mitch. That's the thing. You can tell that the Dana Altman's club has worked so much at fronting him and having somebody behind him. It should, if he's going to be covered, it should make other people open.
O'Brien now 10 of 18 at the line for the year and gets one more down. For his first 2 points, it's 12-8, and Bradley stays in their press. Press break attempt by Porter, missing. Wright runs the floor for an easy 2.
Quick shot, nobody back in the hole, and all of a sudden you got a 2-point ball game.
Might get Nick Porter a chance to discuss it at the Creighton bench. Back cut by Mathis.
Great idea. The problem with running your back cuts tonight, as long as you've got O'Brien in the game, there's someone there to erase it.
Day shoots over the eraser.
Wow.
Jeffrey Day started his career as a Washington Husky. Went to Grossmont Community College. Is key tonight for Creighton. (14-10) Blue Jays at the 10-18 mark. Franklin open. He hits a 3. Will Franklin spoon-nuts his only 3rd three-pointer of the year.
Shot it like he meant it, too. That was the thing. It was almost as though they looked for him. Post play's a little rough right now.
Tie up. Creighton's got the arrow. Take a look. Spoon at the Valley standings brought to you by Ameren. A legion of men and women making sure the nightlights of the neighborhood flicker to life when called upon. Go to Ameren.com to learn more. 365 and then some. We talk about the nation's best non-BCS conference. What about the standings?
Tell you this, the whole thing, and I keep saying, when is this thing going to break? When does the log jam? I don't know. I really don't know.
Those 5 top teams are all in the top 45 in the RPI. Mathis likes that spot on the floor. A little off balance maybe on that one. Somerville to the cup. They got the board. Mathis was high. Doetzler finds Watts. Bradley dodges a bullet. Somerville carried it.
I think that was his second transgression. I believe he walked before he did that, but then he did carry.
2 of the 7 deadly sins of basketball. Turnover's a little problem here for Jim Less's club. That's 7 now for him.
That comes, I think, from this is a big ball game. He's got a bunch of excited players, and they're all trying to play.
Well, they're right there, trailing Creighton only 14-13 at 9:15 of the first half.
Creighton's had a couple of looks from 3, but just the ball has not gone down.
Hibma, he's battled back from an injury. Moats loves 3s. That's why Bradley's out on it. Manny Gacku in now for the Blue Jays. Creighton's not getting many second chances either.
And when they have, they've not been able to finish the thing close.
Andrews strong to the basket and an and one. Zach Andrews has 6 early for Bradley.
Zach Andrews is very, very athletic, and when he gets the basketball close, good things happen for Bradley.
Well, he's had his moments. He had 19 against Western Kentucky in a big one. That's a good Western Kentucky team. He had 15 boards in that game. Plus, he had 6 rebounds in 12 minutes against Creighton in Peoria. but he's not good at the line. He's 49% at the foul line. Bradley up 1.
There was a stat that showed that he shot better from the line when he started. He apparently forgot that tonight.
Gaku, not sure where he's going with this one. And Wright's got the board for the Braves. Bradley a 1-point lead in the ball. That's a big-time save by Andrews. And Somerville splashes a 3. And Bradley's up by 4.
Creighton needs to find a basket right here.
Gaku. Three non-starters out there. That's a little quick trigger. Ruffin cleans it up.
That's a 10-0 run right there, Mitch. 10-0 run by Bradley.
Dana Altman is not happy. A 20-14 Bradley lead at 7:37 of the first half. Let's talk RPI here and how good this league is. Now, this is the individual schools RPI. We mentioned those top 5 teams. Look at that. Above their rank in the top, they are stuck at 5 above top 29.
The good thing is the people that are still here, like Bradley at 69, even 112 here doesn't kill you. Now, when you start losing from there down, that's when you have issues.
But the reason this league is 5th in the RPI, one, they've had some good, they were good in the non-conference. They've got good road wins in the league. They played neutral court games in the league and won those games. They built up some equity in this conference.
Well, and as you have mentioned before on these broadcasts, the people at the bottom part of the league, Indiana State, great win over Indiana. Evansville, win over Purdue. And those are the type things that really stick out also.
This Bradley team was able to win at DePaul earlier. Doetzler. Tolliver's going to get free throws.
Press breaker right there should have led to a basket. Nice job by Creighton against the press.
Zach Andrews fouling. Back with free throws in the return, but here's Marcellus Somerville. This hasn't happened near enough this year for Sellis. Not scored in the last 3 minutes. Bradley's 12-2 run has propelled them to a 6-point lead, 7:31 remaining in the half. At halftime, we'll have our Cardinal Glennon's halftime report brought to you by Cardinal Glennon's Children's Hospital, where love for kids just keeps on growing. What about work in the paint, Charlie, and what's Bradley getting done in there?
Bradley's trying to get the ball inside almost every time. They've got 12 points in the paint. You could thank Andrews for most of those. Creighton has only got 2 baskets in the paint, Mitch, and you, I think, have to say O'Brien's part of the answer there because he makes people think before they shoot the ball.
Creighton is 5 of 23 from the field. Tolliver misses both free throws. And give Bradley's defense credit. They have thrown Creighton off their offensive game.
And let's see what we get here on the offense.
Pick and roll, Somerville nails it over Watts, and if he gets the feel, look out. 19 against Creighton in Peoria. 8-point lead for Bradley.
Pick and pop is a great option for him when the ball's going in the goal.
Tolliver. Franklin pulls it out of there. Bradley's got numbers. Inside out to Franklin from Somerville. That is a 4-minute drought for the Blue Jays. They got their witching stick out.
Well, normally when you have a problem like this, you get the ball inside and try to get a basket. But that's not easy to do against this Bradley ball club.
O'Brien out of there right now. Andrews playing the 5. 10 to shoot. Tolliver from the elbow.
That's the same guy that missed the 2 free throws, Mitch. Explain that to me.
They wasn't in rhythm on those free throws. Creighton needed a basket. There's a look at your field goals. Creighton 6 of 25. Ruffin for 3. A little too easy as Daniel Ruffin nails the 3
I'm not sure that's exactly the shot that Coach Les wanted, but obviously he's going to take it since it went in.
He's the one that had the 3 at the buzzer against Wichita State. Send that game to overtime.
That was the only 3 hit during regulation.
A little better tonight. They're 3 of 7 from 3 in this game. Tolliver going to get fouled underneath. Without O'Brien in there, a little easier to score underneath.
Andrews is like most guys that can really jump. You have to take the ball to him and get into his body. If you do that, he's not going to block your shot. But if you give him space, he's going to Kai-Yi that thing.
14 fouls on Bradley, 2nd on Andrews, and O'Brien right back in the game for Jim Les's team. Tolliver gets the 3-point play. He's got 7. 25-19 Bradley at 5:36 left in the half.
Smaller lineup this time for the Bradley Braves.
Interesting press break here. They throw it in, and Patrick O'Brien's going to bring it up the floor, ladies and gentlemen.
And
7-footer.
And now what though?
Bennett to the rescue.
Great idea there. Close down on everybody after Bryant dribbles it across.
Right.
Little 4-out, 1-in action, and I think probably Coach Les was wanting to get the ball at least into the block area before the ball was shot outside.
Creighton 2 of 5 on 3s. Mathis with 1, Watts with 1. When O'Brien's in there, he's owning the board.
And I believe he got a piece of the ball then also.
Franklin gets the layup. Will Franklin with 5, Spoon. He only averages 3 per game. Mathis trying to draw the foul.
And didn't get it. Oh, could have been a double dribble there.
Instead, it's a basket, and Ruffin's got 9 points.
And that's twice that he's penetrated and got into the lane and got a runner.
This is the Bradley we saw fight at Wichita State. Down 10 here, Ruffin a little close on Mathis. Valley fans make plans to visit Springfield, Missouri for the 06 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Tournament. We call it Hoops in the Heartland. March 9 through 12. For tickets, look at the number at the middle of the screen. 417-836-7678. For everything there is to do and see in Springfield, there's a lot. During the tournament, any other time, go to springfieldmo.org. Toll free, 800-678-8767. What about Daniel Ruffin now? You called him out early in the game and said he needed to play well for Bradley to win.
He's done that, and he's played on both ends, Mitch. That's the thing.
Mathis to Moats. He was shut down. Doetzler somehow slithers inside.
Got a little deeper that time than he did his first adventure to the basket.
On a foul on Pierce Hibman. Trying to get a steal to get the game, and the pace sped up. Instead, it's a foul, and Dana Altman not happy with the call. Braves of Bradley playing well on the road here, leading 29-21. Bradley has lost 13 straight Valley games on the road. They get a 3 in there from Ruffin. What a half he has had. That's 12 first half points for Daniel Ruffin.
And that came off a set after a timeout and a bounce play.
32-21, 11-point lead now for Bradley. And Watts gets fouled and a basket.
That's one way to keep O'Brien out of the equation. Move the center up the lane, let him catch the basketball. Nice idea by Creighton.
The team is sixth. At the line shooting 1, Dane Watts.
Foul was on Lawrence Wright. And one thing Bradley has done is take care of the basketball.
They stumbled early in the game and had turnovers. Now they've gone 10 minutes, 10 solid minutes without a turnover.
Hence the 9-point lead. Watts is just 54% at the line, but he's very good at times from three-point range. He's got 6 points. There's going to be a foul on Creighton. You saw Bradley, they're shooting 57%. Dana Altman's team this year, defensively only allowing teams 39.9 from the field. That's the best a Dana Altman team has defended at Creighton.
Been some shots hit tonight that we didn't see, for example, at Wichita State. Three ball has gone down early. Somerville has been a factor early.
1-on-1 here for Tony Bennett. 71% at the line for the year. And O'Brien's reaching around on a tip out.
Good box out by Creighton. Tough way to get a foul right there.
Need a big box to box him out. Need a refrigerator box.
His idea was fine, tipping the ball out, but he got completely turned around.
When Metro Sports takes its television cameras on the road, it considers these hotel properties its home away from home. Call these hotels or visit the websites of these properties when following your favorite team. Our hosts here in Omaha, the great folks at Holiday and 72nd and Grover, one of the top convention centers in Nebraska. Jeffrey Day misses the front end of a 1-on-1.
Another set right here, Mitch.
O'Brien wants it against Day and somehow fired a Kent to Colby pitch to the past home plate and into the seats.
Well, that's recognizing a little late that you're double teamed, and there would have been a great opportunity to feed the ball back out when he first caught it.
That was dropping the old shoulder down. Eight-point lead for Bradley in a very good first 17-plus minutes. Doetzler in jail. He stepped out twice, forced the turnover. Freshman mistake by Doetzler. He didn't turn it over much. Came in with 64 assists to 40 turnovers.
Dribbled the ball over and good close down, good lockdown. Just nowhere to go with the basketball then.
Bishop trying to crank up the defense. Ruffin delivers. Bennett gets his first two.
Well, the underhand pass seems to work.
There's a foul. It's going to be on O'Brien pushing Day. A little battle underneath at the box.
There's been so much contact by the big people on both ends of the floor. Great. Yeah, that was an absolutely great pass there. But again, when somebody penetrates your defense, people have to help. You're in trouble. You have got to keep the man in front of you.
Right now, Daniel Ruffin is controlling this show. You mentioned him early. He's 5 of 6 from the field. He's hit a couple threes. Got 3 assists and 12 points.
That's pretty good.
Day, another front end of a 1-on-1 missed.
Well, if you're Dana Altman right now, Mitch, you're counting. You're saying, well, there's 2 1-on-1s and a 2-shot foul. That's 6 points we ought to have on the board.
Hard screen knocks Bishop to the floor. Somerville. One extra pass. Mathis lays it in. Five points for Johnny Mathis, a 3 and a 2, 1:46 left in the half as Bradley leading Creighton by 8 points. Bradley with the first half where they have shot 58% from the field on 14 of 24 shooting and 4 of 8 from three-point range. And not allowed the Blue Jays to get on their frenzy they like to get on at home. Our scoreboard brought to you by Casey's General Store. Indiana State leads Drake in Terre Haute, 54-49. 2 more games in the Valley tomorrow night. Indiana State has had to play the last several games without David Moss, their outstanding player, who was great in their earlier win against the University of Indiana. 65 is the number to look at if you're Creighton. Now look at this. This is interesting. When Creighton is 12-0 when holding the Braves under 65, 0-6 when Bradley gets over 65. Bradley is setting at 34 and well ahead of that pace, which would mean a Bradley victory. And Ruffin has been way too much for Creighton in this first half. 14 for Daniel Ruffin. He only averages 7 per game. It is a 10-point Bradley lead. And defense by Bennett to swat it away. Jim Les has got to like the way his team has played on the road in this game. He's 5-24 on the road in Valley play. The 13-game Valley Road losing streak, the longest in Bradley's 54-year history in the Valley. And Creighton has not lost here at home since last February when they lost to Missouri State on February 5th, 05. A miss by Mathis. Bradley has it back, leading by 10. "17-second difference on the shot clock to game clock. Ruffin quick on that one. Possibly playing for a 2-for-1. Porter, it's goaltending on Somerville. And Nick Porter's got his second bucket. Spoon, Bradley looks like they might have been playing a 2-for-1 there, but it works to Creighton's advantage to get the goaltend.
Ruffin, I think, probably having such a great first half, he saw some space there and couldn't resist taking that.
So I'm giving him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt playing for the 2-for-1.
It's not a bad idea, though, because if you score this time, you've come out of it all right. You just didn't want to give the basket up that easily after the miss.
Ruffin with a cone drill, dribbling around the Creighton trap. There's like 0.3 seconds differential between the game clock and shot clock. 8-point lead for Bradley. Hibma trying to stick with Ruffin. Scoops it in. Ruffin's got 16. Spoon, his career high is 17. He's got 16 at halftime. And Bradley leads at half, 38-28. A 38-28 lead as Daniel Ruffin, averaging 7 points a game, has 16 at halftime. Let's go now to Coach Spoonhour with Dana Altman.
Dana, containing Ruffin's got to be a big issue for you.
Well, Coach, you're absolutely right. He's killing us. We haven't stopped him on his dribble penetration. He's hit a few threes, which he hadn't been doing, but he's really hurt us with his dribble penetration. He's killed us.
Good luck second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Our chat with the coaches at halftime with Charlie Spoonhour is brought to you by Mercy Health Plans, an innovative health management company empowering members to make healthy choices. The way we care makes all the difference. Creighton is in trouble here at home. They're 8-0 this year at home, but right now, Daniel Ruffin is the show in Omaha. He's got 16 points, and Bradley leads Creighton by 10 at intermission.
Someone leave their lunch at the last rest stop.
SN Midwest.
The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By the Prairie Farms family of dairies. Prairie Farms, Highland and Roberts Dairies, serving mid-America with quality fresh dairy products every day. By Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius is unbeatable radio. All radio is not created equal. By Purina Dog Chow. Long live your dog. And by Choice Hotels. With over 5,000 hotels from which to choose, there's bound to be a Choice Hotel wherever you're headed.
Welcome back to Omaha and our halftime report brought to you by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where our love for kids just keeps on growing. At halftime, a 38-28 lead, a surprising lead for Bradley. trying to sweep Creighton for the first time since 1998. Welcome back to the QWest Center. I'm Mitch Holtis along with Charlie Spoonhour. Now, Daniel Ruffin is playing the way Jim Les used to play when he was the point guard for Bradley back in the mid-'80s.
Then Jim Les was pretty good, because we've seen quite a halftime. He has handled the basketball, he has scored the ball, defended. He's done everything you could want a point guard to do, and that's how you win road games.
And Creighton has no answer right now for Daniel Ruffin.
They've got to find someone or some way to stay between him and the basket. But if you play soft and back off, he's hit threes tonight.
38-28, Bradley with the lead here in Omaha. And Creighton is 8-0 this year at home. Our player of the week in the Valley is Johnny Mathis of Creighton. He averaged 15 points, 4 boards, 3 steals as Creighton won road games at Northern Iowa and Indiana State. Mathis led Creighton with a game high 16 as the Jays snapped Northern Iowa's 13-game home win streak. Congratulations to Johnny Mathis of Creighton, this week's Valley Player of the Week. But Mathis only has 5 at halftime of this game. He needs a lot more to get Creighton back in it.
State Farm proudly presents the Just Read program.
When we give a child the ability to read, it's a gift that will last a lifetime. At State Farm, we're pleased to be part of the Missouri Valley Conference effort to help young people build their reading skills. Children pay attention when student athletes show how much fun it is to read and how reading skills are so fundamental to doing well in other school subjects.
Launched in 1998, the Just Read program is a community outreach endeavor co-sponsored by the Missouri Valley Conference and State Farm Insurance. Recently, 2 Bradley student athletes, Stephanie Richards and Sarah Westrick, of the cross-country and track and field teams, paid a visit to a Peoria grade school and read to a group of young students. Braves say they love reading, especially to little ones.
They're really impressionable and they really look up to older kids. I really think that we can help them understand that it is important to read and that things that they do now can help them later in life.
We had told them basically reading is the basis of a lot of things we do, and we didn't get to this level not reading. We read through this whole entire way since we were younger. It's just a really important part of college, important part of careers.
You need to have those skills to be successful in your life.
Great message. From Peoria, Illinois, I'm John Alois.
State Farm proudly presents the Just Read program.
Moment focuses on Bradley's run to the 1982 NIT Championship. The Braves captured the regular season Valley title and received an invitation to the NIT. Led by tournament MVP Mitchell Anderson, the Braves defeated American, won at Syracuse, and clipped Tulane to advance to the NIT semis at Madison Square Garden. They blew out Oklahoma in the semis and edged Purdue in the title game to give the Valley back-to-back NIT titles. Today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Millennium Moment.
Is Kyle Korver of Creighton. A native of Pella, Iowa, Korver is one of 5 players in Blue Jay history to finish with his career with over 1,800 points. A 3-time All-Conference choice, he was one of only 6 players in league history to earn back-to-back Player of the Year honors. Creighton's Kyle Korver, one of the best ever in the Valley, and today's Aeropostale Missouri Valley Conference legend.
Welcome back to our Cardinal Glennon halftime report from the QWest Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Brought to you by the Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where love for kids just keeps on growing. At halftime, a surprising score. Bradley trying to sweep Creighton for the first time since 1998. 38-28, Bradley with the lead at halftime. Let's look at now, Charlie, at your Purina Dog Chow first half stats. Purina Dog Chow, long live your dog.
2 things really jump out, offensively and defensively. That's on the shooting percentages, 59% for Bradley. Plus, they're shooting the ball from 3 and shooting the ball well from there. Turnovers have been the only issue that Bradley's had so far. Everything else they've done has just been, I think, very good.
Tonight in Philadelphia, it is bobblehead night for Kyle Korver. That's right. The 76ers are having Kyle Korver bobblehead night in Philadelphia. They could use a little bobblehead of Kyle Korver, maybe the real Kyle Korver here in Omaha. University, a native of Malvern, New York, he steadily climbed the broadcasting ladder and was on national broadcasts from 1988 to 2001. Then he was a television play-by-play voice of the New York Yankees from 02 to 04. ConAgra Foods, presenting Charlie Standard to you tonight, and also the maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. A 1964 graduate of Creighton University, Silas finished his career as the Jays' all-time leading scorer and remains the Jays' all-time leading rebounder. An NBA All-Star selection, Silas currently ranks as the NBA's 16th best rebounding leader and had a distinguished coaching career after his playing days. When considering loan options for your education, be sure to call 1-800-6-MOHELA. You too may someday become a famous Valley alum. Mitch Holt is back at the QWest Center on the banks of the Missouri River in Omaha. Bradley, fueled by 16 Daniel Ruffin first half points, leading Creighton at intermission 38-28. Let's check in now with our Mercy Health plans for the second half with Coach Spooner and Jim Less of Bradley.
Jimmy, can't be much to complain about after a half like that, except how do you sustain it?
Well, we only won 20 minutes of basketball, and it's a 40-minute game, so we got to stay after. I thought the one thing that did hurt is points off turnover. We can't give this team some easy baskets because our half-court D has been pretty good.
It's been excellent. Good half.
Thanks, Sean.
Back to you.
The Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week is brought to you by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser. This is beer. By ConAgra Foods, maker of Banquet, Chef Boyardee, Ready Whip, and other favorites. By Pepsi-Cola, the official soft drink of the Missouri Valley Conference. By John Q. Hammond's Hotels, the leading independent owner and manager of upscale hotels and meeting facilities. And by Aeropostale, providing scholarships through sponsorship with athletically inspired, comfortable clothes at reasonable prices.
Thanks to Charlie Spooner. His chat with Jim Less at halftime, brought to you by Mercy Health Plans, an innovative health management company empowering members to make healthy choices. The way we care makes all the difference. Daniel Ruffin. What a story, Spoon. He has led Bradley to a 10-point lead here at half, the largest halftime deficit for Creighton ever at the QWest Center here in Omaha. As Bradley with a quick shot to start the half and a rebound from Watts.
And a hard shot, and that's what they've been trying not to do.
Mathis, O'Brien, another block. Officially, they had him at 2. I'm not sure. Unofficially, he's at 4. Andrews, and Tolliver returns the favor. Watts with the hustle, but he stepped out.
Looks like blocking shots is fun tonight.
Somewhere Patrick Waugh has entered this game. They're kicking pucks out of the net.
Well, this first 4 or 5 minutes is hugely important right here.
And we're seeing why Bradley is a tough matchup for Creighton. I'm not sure they're a tough matchup for everybody in the league when they get it going. Bennett, trigger, Twy has it rejected, stays with it. J.J. Twy has scored only 10 points all year and gets a stick back there. Porter tries to break off the make, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Well, that's twice now. Creighton's taking the ball right at the big man. They're going to make him either block shots or foul.
And J.J. Twy wasn't playing all that much earlier in December. Now, what's he do for this team right now?
I think the thing he does is he's a calming presence, and he hustles. He doesn't demand the ball, doesn't demand shots, tries to get other people open. He was a big scorer in high school, and he's tried to figure out how he can get out on the floor, and it seems as though he's done it.
From down in the southwest Missouri area, from Verona, Missouri. Porter with 2 free throws. Creighton did not wait to let Bradley celebrate the stick back by Twy. They got right back in their face. It's a 10-point lead, though, for Bradley. Now Porter nearly picks Ruffin, and does, and Ruffin's fouling, trying to get it back.
believe, is there a timeout call there?
Well, they gave the foul to Ruffin. It's his second. And if Dana Alton was unhappy about something, is the fact that his guards got torched in that first half, not only by Ruffin, but by Will Franklin and Bennett.
Question's going to be if someone can stay between Ruffin and the basket.
Doetzler somehow threads it in there. Tolliver's got the third foul on Patrick O'Brien.
And that will change things now. You can see, as we said, Mitch, you know where Creighton's going with the ball. They're going to the big man, and they're going to make him either foul or block the shot.
And did it that time in the middle of the floor, Charlie, sliding him down the middle.
Pick and roll is something that's good, because particularly when it goes straight down the lane like that.
Tolliver's got a problem with the line. He is 3 of 6 in this game. Now, for the year, he came in at 71%. There you see Patrick O'Brien setting down with his 3 fouls. Let's look at scores and schedules around the Valley, brought to you by Casey's General Store. Convenience store and a whole lot more. Casey's General Store tied in Terre Haute. Drake and Indiana State 62-62. They're in overtime. What's new? It's a Valley game. Is David Moss back tonight for Indiana State?
The question was whether or not he was going to play. I know he has very few practices under his belt if he did play.
40-31, this big crowd. They average here about over 14,000 a game, trying to get this team revved up in Omaha. Bradley is going to suck the life out of him in the first half. Somerville forced it. Watts with the defense and the board. Watts against Somerville. There's a reach-in.
Fouls become a little bit of an issue now for the bigger people.
First on Somerville, but 4 quick team fouls on Bradley in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Common foul, and Creighton with the underneath inbounds. Doetzler curls around on the dribble, way short. Andrews fumbles it.
Good push by Ruffin.
And a layup for Porter.
And right back at you. All of a sudden the game gets a little closer.
Twy, Andrews, no. And the backflip, close to it, or the flip up by Andrews. And a block by Somerville, but it rolls off his chest and out of bounds. Now, Creighton is getting this thing close to getting a fish feeding frenzy here.
I'm not sure if the officials have caught up on either end yet. There's been a little contact on both plays, so I guess you'd call that even.
Watch Zach Andrews here now. Here's this little, not a backflip, but watch this. Zink, zoop. And Creighton just scored on a Johnny Mathis bucket, and Bradley just scored on a J.J. Twy bucket.
J.J. Twy has that basket, which is transition, and he's got a follow basket.
Seven-point lead for Bradley at 16:56 left in the game. Twy only had 10 points all year, Spoon. 4 in this game and a 3 by Mathis.
Tempo of the game right now is quick.
Not sure Bradley wants it that quick. Ruffin's out of control. Hibma. It's going to be a tie-up. Creighton's got the arrow. You know, Omaha's got one of the great zoos in the country. And the Henry Doherty Zoo. It's like feeding the lions. These 14,000 people are wanting a piece of raw meat.
That 10-point lead could be looked upon as raw meat that people are chewing on right now.
And give credit to Bradley. That first 20, they took this crowd out of it. But this crowd is fixing to get right back in it.
Franklin's in, I would assume, to bring a little order to things.
Tolliver, ISO. got hammered by Andrews.
I'll say this again, and more players ought to know this. When you're playing against a guy who can really, really jump, who's a great athlete, if you shoot the ball going towards the goal, towards him, you are going to draw fouls. If you try to shoot fallaways or soft shots, it's going to be out of there like Opal's eye. It's going to be going.
And I think that's where Tolliver's improved. He used to shoot a lot of fadeaways or kind of play soft. He is just much stronger going at the basket more than he has in his career.
Well, in your first TV timeout, which will come after this 22 seconds, you always hope you can get a lead cut into a little bit, cut 3 or 4 off of it. Well, right now, it's a 2-point lead.
They have cut 8 points off the lead in less than 4 minutes.
I do not know what Coach Altman said, but whatever it is, he just needs to remember it.
Something in Bohemian, I'm sure, from his Bohemian heritage of Wilbur, Nebraska. That and getting a 3rd foul on Patrick O'Brien. That's been huge. Ruffin was the story in the first half. Long on that one.
An open look for Ruffin, but the ball just didn't go.
Creighton can take the lead with a 3. They were down by 10 4 minutes ago. Bishop, crossover, and got that to go.
I don't know how he got where he was going or got it up there, but he certainly did.
It's the old Brown-Mackey bucket.
That's twice now that Ruffin is going a little bit faster than he needs to. And nearly turned it over.
Good place to go to Somerville. He got fouled by Moats trying to help. Now Somerville and Day with a little shove. And Jim Less coming in to grab Tony Bennett as tempers heat up.
Well, there's been a little bit of byplay, particularly with the guards on the bumping. The centers have just been fouling each other a lot.
They're going to send everybody to their benches. A wise move. Moat still gets the foul as first and Creighton's first. We're at the under 16 timeout anyway. Creighton has evaporated a 10-point deficit in just a little over 4 minutes. They were down 10 at half. It's tied now on the banks of the Missouri. 42-42 tie. 15:22 left to go in the game here in Omaha. With over 5,000 hotels to choose from, there's bound to be a choice hotel wherever you're headed. Book your stay at a Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality Sleep Inn, Clarion Mainstay Suites, Econo Lodge, or Roadway Inn by calling 877-240-2929 or visit choicesportstravel.com. Get your best internet rate guarantee. We'll see you there. We have a double technical called. Charlie, what happened?
Well, I think it's what happens after the play, and we're missing it, but after the play right here, here's the foul going to be called. That nothing yet, but then Somerville flips the man guarding. Here we got the push, and here comes Bennett. So they both get technicals.
Bennett with the technical. Day with the technical. That adds personal fouls to their total. Day has 2. Bennett has 2. 16 fouls, however, now on Bradley. 2 on Creighton. Bennett in the lane. And Bradley cannot score.
Isn't that where Moats got the roll on the basket earlier, that same goal?
Little give and go again. Offensive foul, Tolliver. And he has drawn his 3rd foul.
Great job of filling in and taking the charge.
You mentioned how effective the pick and roll has been. That time not in the middle, but on the side.
Only question is going to be, and Ruffin really reads the play well. That was a slip screen right there. Ruffin stood his ground, but he paid for it.
Make his dad happy. Legendary coach. Peoria Central, one of the great high school programs in America.
I think that shows your team, too. There's your guy that was leading your scoring. He's not afraid to get down and take a lick.
He paid the price. He's coming out. He is limping around. Bradley concerned about his health. But there is foul trouble now on both benches. Wright forcing it. Somerville's over the back. It's 1-1 for Creighton, and it's 14:40 to go in the game.
And you just said it, already a 1-1. Now Creighton has to step up and hit the free throws.
And Somerville's got his third, Charlie. All three have been in the second half. So that's 3 fouls for Somerville in just a little over 5 minutes.
He's got to be careful now. The problem you get into is you still have to guard people, and you still have to be aggressive going after the basketball.
We got a challenge here now at the...
Somebody threw one of those hankies again?
Yeah, they want to know who should be shooting the 1-1 here, because Somerville was over the back of a Blue Jay. And they're going to check with Mike Kern from the Valley office and take a look. Let's look at the replay and see who ought to be shooting his free throw.
Nice job defensively. It looks like Mathis is going to be the one that gets fouled. And he is. Mathis is in there with the big fellas. If you're Dana Altman and you get a guy that shoots nearly 80%, that probably makes you happy that the officials did check it.
Vern Harris with a little smile. Again, Mathis, 10 points, 5 in the second half. He's had some big-time games, 32 against Drake, 29 against Nebraska. He had 6 threes in the first half against Drake.
And all of a sudden, you're looking at a lead for the home team.
2-point Creighton lead. They trailed by 10 points less than 6 minutes ago. Bennett loses Mathis. Somerville throws it away. Mathis loses it on the other end. Give Will Franklin credit. And an offensive foul. Doetzler takes the charge on Bennett, and Jim Les didn't like the call.
These charges that the two guards, the 2-point guards have taken are not easy. Those are tough plays.
And you feel those sometimes the next day. But I like what you said. The rest of your teammates see that, they'll follow you to battle then. We got foul trouble, though, both sides. Tolliver's got 3 for Creighton. Andrews 3, O'Brien 3, Bennett 3, Somerville 3 for Bradley. Creighton has a 2-point lead and the ball.
Good hustle on the breakaway a minute ago, not to just concede the thing to Mathis.
Doetzler left alone at the basket.
Left alone because O'Brien has foul trouble.
Yeah. I think Doetzler was looking around for O'Brien. He's setting down. I think I'll lay it in. Timeout, Jim Les. Wants a 30. He has been outscored 18-4. 46-42 Creighton. Creighton trailed by 10 at half.
In Midwest.
Creighton with a rapid turnaround here in Omaha. Down 10 at half. They lead by 4 now. 13:44 left in the game. Time now for our Dayton history, brought to you by the Renaissance Grand Hotel St. Louis. January 18th, 1993, Creighton establishes a single-game school record for free throw percentage. 14 out of 14 and a 14-point win over Missouri State. Renaissance Grand Hotel, the official St. Louis hotel of the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake has won in overtime at Indiana State, 77-68. Look at the 2 halves here, Spoon. And a set play to Somerville to get him a bucket and an and-one opportunity.
Really went up strong. Great job by Somerville that time, taking it to the glass.
A good job by Jim Les to get Somerville a look. And look where he got the shot, Spoon.
Blocked at the block.
Foul was picked up by Jeffrey Day of Creighton. That's his 3rd. And he's out of the game.
Adams is in the ball game for Bradley. You can expect him, if he's open, to shoot a three because almost 3/4 of his shots have been from three.
There's Adams. That's his first appearance in the game. Now, he was big in the game at Peoria. He came off the bench to zing in a couple threes and a two and made his presence felt. From Metamora, Illinois. Somerville 3-point play. It's a 1-point lead for Creighton.
Ruffin a really nice job on John Mathis.
Mathis in trouble. Ruffin. I think that's probably the best thing that could happen to Mathis. If he kept the ball so he can start all over.
That was a very circuitous route to somewhere.
11 to shoot for Creighton, up 1. And a 5-second call. A violation against Doetzler. Didn't get it in time.
Those calls kill you because not everyone counts at the same speed.
To give Jim less credit now, out of his timeout, he gets a 3-point play and a turnover against Creighton.
See if we go back to a set if Bradley goes back, and it looks like they're going to.
And the big man's back in there, O'Brien, in the lineup. A 3 for Somerville. This is carnage. Saved and a tip up to Watts by Mathis, and now an intentional foul is going to be called on Ruffin as Watts goes down hard under the Creighton basket.
Well, they've emphasized that call the last 2 years to avoid injury. That's the whole reason. I tell you, that's a tough call when it's made.
But the key is player safety, Spoon. That was the big issue when they made it a point of emphasis, because it is a very dangerous play in that kind of instance.
To Ruffin's credit, he did not go into his legs. He didn't try to hit him across the top of the head. Here's the good play right here. Look at this. Volleyball play down the floor. And Ruffin goes at the ball. And that's really what you teach guys to do.
Hibma will go to the line as Watts is out of the lineup, injured and can't play, and Hibma is going to get the first one down.
Pretty nice when you can go to your bench and find a guy shooting 77%. Yep.
But he hits 1 of 2. The foul on Ruffin is his third. It is the 5th Bradley player to pick up 3 fouls. Day and Tolliver has 3 for Creighton. Creighton, with the intentional foul called, gets the free throws and the ball. 2-point lead for Creighton. Still 12:38 to go.
Hard to run patterns against this defense.
Doetzler. Porter with the board. Sets up Hibma. O'Brien with another block. And I think we can officially call the pace and intensity of this game frantic. Mathis. Offensive foul. Somerville took the charge, and that was a risky move because he's got 3 fouls.
I didn't know if Somerville was going to get there. I thought he was going to get by. Good call. Well, if your senior takes that, your high scorer takes that charge, then you got to feel like everybody's going to take it.
Jim Les has to like it. Bradley fans has to like it. Have to like it. 47-45, Creighton by 2. Ruffin, speed dribble. He was making that shot in the first half. He has no points in the second half after having 16 at halftime.
Well, those are the same shots he was taking and making, so it's not anything that he's changed. Maybe going a little faster, Rich.
Mathis. Doetzler. And he gets hammered by Danny Adams. Mathis is going to the line when we come back. The inside dribble and dish hurting Bradley. Creighton down by 10 at half, leads by 2. We'll have 2 at the line when we come back to Omaha. Lots of heat, very competitive. 47-45, Creighton by 2. 11:23 left in the game. Now take a look at this. Foul trouble. We're headed for casualties against them.
If people continue to play hard, and that's the only way you can play in this game. You can't go out there and say, well, I'm going to just coast a little and not do things.
Mathis has 2 shots. Creighton is in the double bonus at 11:23 left in the game.
Well, when this second half started, Bradley got into foul trouble in the first minute, which they had 4 in the first minute and some seconds.
Jim Less, 5-24 on the road in the Valleys, lost 13 straight on the road. Had an awesome 20 minutes in the first half. In the second half, it's been turned on him. But they're only down 4, and they still have a great chance here. Franklin gets a great look.
Franklin's been a factor in this ball game.
7 for Franklin. Took it right after O'Brien Porter, and somehow Tolliver with the offhand with the shoulder right at Bryant to score.
I did not think that was going to go in the goal. Try this weave again. It worked well last time.
Bennett stepped out.
There are possessions, Mitch, excuse me, when Bradley gets into they start their weave and they stay with the dribble, and it's probably not as effective as when they run their sets.
There's that Tolliver shot. He's right-handed. He cranked it with the left hand over the left and the right shoulder. But you know what? There's a sign of his strength and how much stronger he is. Now he's going to shoot a floater up there over the top of O'Brien. And O'Brien misses a dunk. Tolliver knocked it off of Ruffin.
All the good things that happened for Ruffin in the first half, now all the plays that are backfiring are happening to him.
Now the key for him is decision making.
And a nice job that time by Bradley. They get the ball down the floor, they lob it up. And I mean, that's almost automatic, and the dunk doesn't go in.
Let's check in at Terre Haute, our Casey's General Store scoreboard. Drake wins on the road, 77-68 in overtime. And just in case you're wondering, Drake is 4-4 in the league. Mathis, hesitation, O'Brien changing shots.
Didn't block it, but you're exactly right, Mitch. He changed the way the ball went to the goal.
Wright didn't have a good look on his face when he caught it.
It just didn't feel good.
Watts, a 3. His second of the game, he's got 9, and Creighton all of a sudden leads by 7. Make it 5, possibly 4, as Bennett wastes no time and doesn't allow Creighton to celebrate the 3.
That just kills you, because that was a made 3 on the other end. Your 3 goes in for you, then all you've got to do is pick your feet up and run down the floor right here. That's the whole key.
Both teams have done it to each other here. Did you like the break-off makes?
Oh, yeah, it's a great time to break when everybody's high-fiving, pointing at each other and smiling.
Good score. Bennett with a 3-point play. So Creighton hits the 3-point field goal, and Bradley goes right back and gets a 3-point play. 4-point lead, Creighton. Hip him out of the glass.
I'm guessing that knee's well.
He's from Pella, Iowa. He looked like Kyle Korver on that move. Andrews against Day. All of a sudden, we're getting easy baskets back and forth. Now Wright is fouling on Mathis after the basket. That's Wright's third. And Creighton's in the double bonus. They'll get free throws.
The emotions that sometimes you get caught up in can kill you. Look at this drive.
There's a little shove. I'm not sure Mathis didn't have the first shove, but you know the old rule.
Second man gets caught.
They have called a technical foul on Lawrence Wright. And Mathis will get 2 shots. Mathis has kind of snuck his way up there in the point total. He's got 15, 10 in the second half, including 5 of 5 at the line. And Creighton's going to get the ball with a 58-52 lead with 8:48 to go in the game. Crime never pays unless you're the first man that pushes.
Post play is a little bumpy right now.
Tolliver underneath, and he gets fouled by Bennett. The technical was called for delay of game against Bradley for delaying the ball coming out of the basket. That's the official word. I'm not sure that's a good enough explanation for Jim Less.
This is not an easy game to adjudicate.
No.
Teams are playing really hard.
Tolliver had hit 3 in a row. He's been to the line 10 times and made 6 of the 10.
Free throws have been an issue for Dana Altman's ball club tonight.
16 of 23, and what? 2 of those were 1-and-1 misses in the first half.
At least 2.
That would have been 3.
One was a 2-shot foul that was missed.
13 for Tolliver. 7-point lead for Creighton at the 8:20 mark. Nice pass. Franklin's having a nice night. That's a 3, his second of the night. Spoonie came in with 2 all year. He's got 2 in this game.
He's been playing, when he gets in, playing well, and he's held his own.
And Bradley is not capitulating here. Watts against Somerville. Walk. 7:53 left in the game, and the fun is just beginning in Omaha. We got a long way to go. Creighton leading by 4. Mitch Holt is back along with Charlie Spoonar at the QWest Center in Omaha. Another crowd over 14,000 here tonight. 59-55 Creighton. Bradley led at halftime. Look at the difference by half. Bradley led by 10 points at halftime. Creighton has shot 16 second half free throws. Still 7:33 to go.
This is either a match or a switch.
Deep 3 missed by Somerville. That's the shot he was taking at Wichita State when we had him.
I think the word settling for is appropriate.
He had 1 in the first half from 3. He's 1 for 4 in the game. Right. Way off, but Somerville's underneath scrapping, so is Mathis. The arrow's Bradley.
Wright has had, Mitch, 3 shots that have been of that ilk. He doesn't, I know he wants to get the ball inside and score, but he just hasn't been set to do so.
Well, we saw him very good last year in Peoria against Wichita State. You remember that second half he had last year? He dominated the game.
And he could do it again at any time because he has a lot of ability.
Somerville, another deep off-balance three. This time with a shot clock a factor, the board to Tolliver. They give Porter a lane to the rack, and why? Wright was waiting for him. Franklin has been a story. Another three. Well, he doubled his total and has added to it. I'll see you two and raise you one. Franklin, a career high 13 points.
And now, if you're Creighton, they've done a better job on roughing by far this half.
Watts gets fouled on a three-point attempt. And Somerville, and that is his third.
You always want to have a hand up, obviously, on a three-point shot, but fouling a three-point shooter is something that you try to avoid.
Somerville does have 3 fouls. We mentioned Watts and his troubles at the line, 54%. But he gets 3 of them here. He's 2 for 2 in this game at the line. Out of Warrensburg, Missouri. Listed as the top player in the Kansas City area when he came out of high school. And a very good get for Dana Altman's Creighton program. Watts would defy the numbers if he gets all 3 of them. The tip out keeps it to Creighton.
And you've got, if you're Bradley, you've got 2 guards standing back at the back. And that's the type of thing that just drives Jim West crazy right there.
Creighton 3-point lead and the ball. 6 minutes left in this game. Tolliver, again the pick and roll. And Wright was there to help on defense.
Slip screen has worked twice, but no basket to show for it.
Wright can't get the bank, and there's Will Franklin. Roughing to tie it. O'Brien fouled by Tolliver, and that's his 4th.
Rebounds.
Bradley out-rebounded Creighton in Peoria 16 days ago by 13 boards. Tonight, they've out-rebounded him by 4.
Well, this isn't O'Brien's favorite place either, man. It's 53% on the year, and this is a 1-and-1.
I think this is a principle of physics. It's Da Vinci. Didn't he write about this or something? Is he looking down at the goal when he shoots? There are several NBA scouts to our left. He has caught their attention. He defies the odds and hits 2 free throws. 1-point game. Creighton leads by 1 with possession. 5:30 left in the game. Franklin's everywhere.
Franklin is playing both ends of the floor, and as usually happens when a guy has a really good offensive night, the energy translates to the defensive end.
13 for Will Franklin. 2 of 9 on threes coming into the game. He's got 3 makes in this game on 4 attempts.
He's got Johnny Mathis right now to worry about. This is a flat one right here. This is going to be Mathis against the world or a weave.
9 to shoot. It's Mathis against the world. Great spin. Used the offhand. O'Brien was in there to change it again. Bradley can regain the lead if they score here. Loose ball. Creighton's going to get it.
That time, Mitch, Creighton recognized where Franklin was. It kept him from shooting the basketball, and then just a hustle play. A good look inside, but great effort by both teams.
Creighton with the set here, looking to use a high screen perhaps. Doetzler throws it away.
Trying to run a set play, and Wright just would not allow it.
That's that 7-foot wingspan he's got. Bradley can take the lead if they score. Somerville. Bradley on the boards.
Rebounds are very hard to come by right now for Creighton.
Ruffin, good look in the lane. That's the shot that went in the first half. Hibma runs the floor. Franklin touched it last.
Well, you're right, Mitch. That is the shot that he owned in the first half. He's had at least 3 of those that have not gone to second.
He shot a blank in the second half, but his team's got a shot on the road because of Will Franklin. Creighton leading Bradley 61-60, 3:58 left to go in the game. Let's announce our State Farm players of the game. For Bradley, Spoon, an unlikely candidate. Will Franklin, career-high points and boards.
Averaging 2.7 points a game. Comes in, just has a great night. Shoots good shots, Mitch. That's the thing. Shot open shots and made them. Kept Creighton from running and hiding this second half.
The reason Creighton got back in the game, we'll announce the Creighton player of the game as well in just a moment. But Creighton with a 1-point lead and the ball. This thing is still very, very much in doubt and a long way to go at 3:50 remaining in the game. .15 to shoot. Porter on the skip. He's got to be careful of Wright's wingspan here. Oh, he finds Tolliver underneath. And a foul and a bucket. That's the 4th foul on O'Brien and a bucket for Tolliver.
Great assist. Great assist by Porter right here. Dishes it off. There's the fake. Gets the man in the air. And the finish. That's important.
And 4 fouls on Patrick O'Brien. There's your State Farm player of the game for Creighton, Spoon. 16 points for Johnny Mathis. He got the engine revved up early in the half.
First half was not as kind to him. But the second half surely has been.
Tolliver's been to the line 12 times and missed 5 of them. There's a steal. Porter picking right. And a layup.
Used his body under control. That's somebody knows how to play. That's one of my Vegas guys, man.
You recruited him, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Back-to-back buckets for Creighton. Now Bradley has to show its composure. Down just 5. Still 2:55 to go. Ruffin. O'Brien. Bradley wanted a foul and didn't get it. Doetzler. A wise decision, Spoon.
Very wise decision by a freshman.
And a better decision there.
And a timeout, I think, for Bradley.
Jim Less's team has played so hard. Had a 10-point lead at half. And is upset about the non-call against Patrick O'Brien at the other end. But Creighton now, with 6 unanswered points, leads 67-60 with 2:33 to go.
Well, Doetzler did what so many guys have not been doing this year. Brought the ball down, didn't have anything, brought it back out, saw a broken floor and a man standing open under the basket. Great feed. Very, very smart play by a freshman.
Pretty good sequence, though, for Creighton to get 3 buckets in a row. Let's take a look now, Spoon, at this sequence by the Blue Jays.
There's the first basket right here with the foul. That leads to 2 points. Steal, use of the body. Just an excellent play by Chris.
And then Doetzler finding Watts underneath.
Hey, here we go after timeout. I'm guessing it goes to Somerville. I would have thought on the block.
Let's be honest, Jim Less has been good out of timeouts in this game. A 3, Bennett, no.
And now, if you're Creighton, you use some clock. The clock is your friend. You've got enough points right now. You've got a 7-point lead.
Doetzler working against a 5 count here is Ruffin on it.
He's getting ready to go under 2 minutes, Mitch.
12 to shoot. Mathis. Bradley still has a chance. Ruffin, his shot kind of flicked from behind. And a foul. Is this a foul? It's off him out to Bradley. Watts is on the floor again. Here's your 65 number. Bradley was on pace. They had 38 at half to score 76. Creighton's 12-0 and holding Bradley under 65. 0-6 when they get 65 and above. The pace flip-flop to Creighton in the second half.
Scoring on an out-of-bounds play, not going to happen.
Long 3, Somerville. Franklin nearly gets the steal.
Not to belabor a point, Mitch, but with a 7-point game, 1:40 to go, you do not have to take a 3. Going at the basket, drawing fouls is sometimes a good idea. And if a 3 appears, you take it.
It's a 3-possession game anyway. Ruffin fouling. 4 on him, and Doetzler's at the line.
Pretty good idea to put the freshman on the line, even if he's a very good freshman.
68%. His first free throws of the night. Dana Altman, his team, in trouble at halftime. Down 10. Bradley taking the fight to him. That changed immediately at the start of the second half. Doetzler with the free throw.
Nope, that right there, Mitch, probably does it.
Tolliver with the dunk. He's got 17. And now a foul on Nick Porter, which is what Dana Altman did not want at all.
This is very, very good play offensively to draw the foul.
Here's our Rawlings play of the game. Passing. It has been a Creighton trademark. Find the open guy and get the basket. Our play of the game brought to you by Rawlings, the official athletic equipment of the Missouri Valley Conference. And Ruffin with the free throw, his first point of the second half. It matches a career high of 17 against Pepperdine. And if you're Creighton, the worst thing to do is to foul on a 3.
Stopping the clock, allowing somebody to score without the clock running. The 10 points looked awful good. The 7 looks pretty scary, doesn't it?
Timeout, Bradley.
And now if you're Bradley, Mitch, I'm sure that denial of the first pass is probably what Jim Les is thinking about. Then as soon as the ball's in, fouling, particularly if it's the right person you want.
1:01 left in the game, 7-point lead for Creighton. Next action on Saturday, it's an Iowa thing. One of the great rivalries in the league, Northern Iowa, so very good at the Unidome, will entertain their cousins from the Hawkeye State. They'll take on the Drake Bulldogs. And then Sunday, I'll be in Terre Haute, Indiana. Indiana State is very good on the women's side. Jim Whitty's team, Melanie Baglin and others, 3 o'clock Sunday start. That'll be in Terre Haute. Jill Hutchison will join me for that game as the Missouri State Bears will be on the road against Indiana State.
Finding the man to throw it into and getting the ball in, delivering the ball is an issue right now. Quickness on the floor for Bradley.
Into Porter quickly, and quickly fouled by Bennett. That's 5 on number 5.
Mathis went long then. course, it's awfully difficult to throw the ball long, but there might have been a play there.
Nick Porter here. A chance to atone for his. That has to be one of the 7 deadly sins of basketball, to foul a guy on a 3 with a 10-point lead.
I think so. I think we can safely say that.
If it's not, it'd need to end in 8. Tony Bennett out of Chicago Westinghouse, played at Pratt Community College in the Jayhawk Conference Western Division. Porter's got 10 tonight, 2 of 2 at the line.
Bennett, who's had some great games for Bradley tonight, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 for 9 on the floor.
Again, our prayers for Dave Snell, the Bradley play-by-play announcer, taken to a hospital before the game. Passed out before the game and will stay overnight here in Omaha. Franklin with another 3. 16 for Will Franklin.
That's the type thing. That was a set play. He just went to the block, got a screen, came out the corner, and just shot it down.
Now, before we this is a 6-point game. That's only 2 possessions, and there's still 54-4 left.
Not much time has left the clock. Great job of pushing the ball up the floor by Ruffin, finding the man that he's looking for.
Anthony Tolliver. When O'Brien was out of there, Tolliver kind of took over. Now this is against O'Brien. So is this. That drew the 4th foul on Patrick O'Brien.
There's the lob. That play was the one I think extended things to 10. Just a breakdown after a miss by Bradley on one end. They just did not get back.
Here's your game reset. Creighton, 3:30s and a 60 left, and Jim Less is out of timeouts. Creighton was in the double bonus 11 minutes ago.
Now you're back in the situation of getting the ball in bounds. A steal is what Bradley's really looking for. And Dana Altman changes his press offense look.
Somerville is back. You don't see him on the screen, but Watts with the inbound. Gets it into Doetzler. Somerville's fouled out. No, I'm sorry. He's got 4. Somebody want to give him an extra foul all night. Sorry, Marcellus. It's going to be 2 shots for Josh Doetzler.
What you're thinking if you're Bradley right now, trading 3 for 1, 0, or 2.
Doetzler just split a pair at the line. Get out of Bellevue West High School here in the Omaha area. 2-time Nebraska Player of the Year. That's the big one. Make it a 3-possession game.
There's still so much time, Mitch. The clock just does not move.
Bradley down 7. Ruffin in a hurry for 3. He got it. 22 for Ruffin. 6 in the second half. Timeout called by Creighton. Still 47-8 left, and it's a 5-point game. Long from over. I'm sorry, a 4-point game. A 4-point game. Creighton now with a 4-point lead with 47.8 to go.
On a missed free throw like this, somebody needs to find Ruffin coming down the floor. Doetzler, who missed the free throw, was hustling back, just didn't get a chance to get it.
Now, you've been in this situation. Let's talk about both ends. You scramble every inbounds play you got if you're Creighton. You dig deep into the file, and if you're Bradley, what are you doing?
Bradley, you're just saying, try to get a steal. If you catch somebody running out of control, maybe flop. Try to get that call. If you don't, as soon as it gets inbound, hack and you're telling your guys, hey, this is working. We're catching up.
4-point lead for Creighton. Doetzler immediately fouled by Franklin. Now Doetzler is 2 of 4. He's 1 of 2. He split a pair twice.
I thought Doetzler was going to throw the ball right back to Hibna, who's 77%.
Seven for Doetzler, and even if he does hit this, it's still a 2-possession game.
The other thing you get into with all the subbing, people have to be sure. Now I'm watching Hibna. He's pointing out who he's got. Communication is so important right now.
Doetzler is 1 of 2 now, 3 times at the line. 5-point lead for Creighton. Franklin has that one blocked. Somerville knocks it off Doetzler.
Well, that's the only way you're going to keep Franklin. If you don't keep him from catching it, somebody better block it.
Now down 5, you don't need a 3 here, Spoon, too. You can go crank it, too.
I think they feel so comfortable with Franklin shooting it. That's probably why they went that direction.
Somerville. This is off Bradley.
But you're right, Mitch. A 5-point ball game. We all learned it from Michael Jordan. 5-point game. Take it. Go at the goal. Then guard them.
Somerville is 1 for 6 on 3s. Tolliver's going to get a turn.
I don't think that was exactly maybe who Coach Altman wanted to have it either.
And they foul number 22, Lawrence Wright. That's his 4th personal foul.
So it's not been easy for Dana Altman tonight. He's earned his paycheck. He wish he has this guy, Nate Funk, the All-American candidate for Creighton, out for the season with a shoulder injury. He had shoulder surgery. Recently expected to return next year.
Well, we know who the ball would be thrown into if he was present and dressed out. Now this is a huge free throw right here. This turns it into a 3-possession game if Tolliver can complete this.
He's missed 5 tonight, but nails both of those. 19 for Tolliver. Adams. Bradley won't quit. Jim Les thought Adams got fouled after the shot.
Bradley foul number 32, Danny Adams. That's his 2nd personal foul.
Bradley's doing a very, very good job of fouling quickly. They're not letting time expire, and they're hitting big shots, Mitch. That's the thing. They've hit some huge shots here.
Porter's 4 of 4 at the line for the game, and he's going to get a chance here. One thing Creighton has done now, sometimes because of injury, but they redshirt several kids. It's something Dana Altman started a couple years ago. Porter had to set out last year with a red shirt, a medical red shirt with a knee injury, but Hibma was a red shirt. Moats was a medical red shirt at one time. Sitzman is a red shirt. He's not afraid to play a 5 for 4 with some of these kids, or 3 for 2 if it's a JUCO kid.
Big play right here, 5 points.
Franklin gets fouled on the way, and the basket. Franklin does the smart thing, Spoon, goes at the basket, and a chance for 3 on this possession.
You're exactly right. Covered, drives the ball at the basket, gets the continuation call.
And Tolliver not only fouls out, he gets his contact dislodged.
Hey, do you see the tape tomorrow, ref?
And I believe no, they're going to say that's just 4 on Tolliver.
Do you see the tape tomorrow?
So Tolliver stays in, just 4 fouls. But Franklin has a chance to make this a 2-point game.
I thought the foul was called on someone before Tolliver, Mitch, is what I thought.
Franklin misses the free throw. Right, stick back. It's a 1-point game. And now Bradley looks to foul because the game clock at 16.1, the shot clock shut off.
This is interesting right now. You got a 1-point game and free throws for a freshman.
And even if he hits both of them, Spoon, a 3 can tie it.
And again, I say it again, you do not have to have a 3, although it probably would behoove you if you could.
Now Doetzler has had a pattern here. 1 of 2, 1 of 2, 1 of 2. He hit his first on this try.
He needs to hit this one. Small lineup in for Bradley. You've got everyone who can shoot threes now.
2 of 2.
Big free throw.
3-point game. Bradley going to shoot a 3 or a quick 2. Adams. Hibma. Foul on Franklin. 2.8. Creighton looks like they're going to get out of this with a win, but give Bradley a ton of credit.
Bradley had a great first half. Start of the second half, things didn't gel as well as they should for them. The game changed, but they have fought their way back in this thing, Mitch. They've done a great job of coming back. Hibma hits one shot, you can pretty well say send the Saddles home.
Ball game.
That's fine.
Hibma's 4. Creighton down 10 at half.
Mitch, Jim Less's ball club is on the verge of being very, very good.
I concur. And they now head into a part of their schedule in the next 2 weeks where they can make a run. This team looks dangerous to me for the rest of the Valley.
O'Brien is only going to get better. They've got to be excited about the night Franklin had. There's just so many positive things in this ball game. I know they're going to be sick about not winning, but there's so many positives in this ball game. It bodes well for Bradley.
And for the Blue Jays, they're going to go 12-4, 6-2, an excellent RPI in the mid-20s. They're playing without their potential All-American in Nate Funk, and they're winning games.
They're winning games, and I think the thing that probably makes Dana Altman comfortable is they at least know who's going to play now. There's no uncertainty, and the injury bug's done for a while at least, and he can get a rotation started, and that's good. And this place is a pretty good place to play.
In fact, Nate Funk out of the lineup. They're 9-1. With Funk, they were 3-3. Game is over. Give credit to Bradley. Somewhat of a Pyrrhic victory, but give credit to Creighton. They stay in the thick of the Valley race at 6-2, 12-4 overall. Bradley at 9-7, 3-5.
Good game, Mitch. This was a hard game. I think Bradley learned some lessons. I think they saw what they can do when they go on the road. I think they can take positives. I think Creighton coming back, that's got to make them happy.
Creighton 80, Bradley 76. For the coach, Charlie Spoonhour, this is Mitch Holtis. Enjoy the rest of your Valley Week in the nation's best non-BCS basketball conference.